I'm Lindsey Kasperski, and I'm the owner, baker, and decorator behind Let Me Know Baking. My mission statement is that sugar cookies are a luxury item. When people pay that much money for a product, I believe that the product they receive should match their vision. While the Let Me Know part of Let Me Know Baking was originally a nod to my initials, it also serves as my business model. My sugar cookie designs are completely customizable. All customers have to do is let me know what they want. And here are some examples of my past work on the right. My history is that I've been baking for as long as I can remember, and I was even baking by myself by the time I was in middle school, and I started decorating cookies around early high school. I also have a degree in graphic design, and I minored in photography, which both I use in my business all the time. And I've had an LLC, cottage food license, and food handler's license since November 2023. My primary method of making money is from custom orders, which is when a customer reaches out to me with just a theme they have in mind. I design the cookies, I make the cookies. An example of that is on the top here. It was a third birthday where the theme was dinosaurs. I also do markets where I make lots of different cookies, bring them to an event, and people come and buy them there. And then I also just have a few other things like I do drop cookies, which are just like chocolate chip cookies, but I also have more unique flavors like hot chocolate and coffee cake. I do bars, which are like um, brownies or blondies. Those are both sold by the dozen, and DIY kits, which is shown on the bottom here. I give them cookies, icing, and sprinkles, and they decorate the cookies themselves. This is my financial history from 2024 and 2025, which are the two full calendar years that I've been doing this. There was a pretty major increase in custom orders during my second year, and I mostly attribute that to just my name being out there more. I also had a significant increase in the money I made at markets because even though I did less markets, 2024 was a real learning experience for me in how to find good quality markets that lots of people attend that I can make lots of money at. And by 2025, I was averaging like $300 to $350 at each market I went to. Uh, and then my other category did go down, but since that's not my primary method of making money, that's not something I'm overly concerned with. My total revenue went up and my expenses were approximately the same, which I attribute to the fact that in 2024 I had more one-time expenses because I was establishing my business, but in 2025 I had more reoccurring expenses like ingredients and packaging because I was getting more orders. So in the end, profit went up about 1.6 thousand. The thing that makes me different than other cookie decorators is that I offer complete customization. First of all, they can order any number they want as long as it's at least 12, because less than 12 just isn't worth my time. Uh, so like they can order like 17, they can order 51, the number doesn't matter. Other people only allow people to order by the dozen, which I just find a not super necessary rule. And I also always give customers mock-ups upon ordering, and I do not limit the number of redesigns they're allowed. Other people uh, will charge extra for this or just not offer at all. I find this very important. For example, this set on the right, I was told the theme was Love is Brewing. It was for a wedding shower because the bride liked coffee and the signature drink was espresso martinis. In my original version, I included some coffee related designs, and I sent them in, and the customer told me, oh, the theme isn't actually coffee, it's more about the espresso martini. So I redesigned them, and she was happy with them. And this is really good because if I had just given her those coffee related cookies and that's not what she wanted, she would be unhappy and that could potentially be grounds for a refund, which obviously nobody wants. And then some technology that I have at my disposal, which really helps with customization, is a 3D printer, which I use to make custom cookie cutters, such as these ones. All four of these ones on the right were cookie cutters that I designed and printed myself. I also have a projector, which I use to mostly to draw text, like on the right here. That is not something I could freehand. And I have a Cricut, which I use to make stencils, which is not pictured here. Cookie decorating and cottage food businesses have a very large competition right now. There is a Connecticut Cottage Food Operation Bakers Facebook group that has 1.3 thousand members, and a Connecticut Decorated Cookie Artists group that has 282 members. I don't know how many of these people are actually selling cookies, but I'd imagine it's a good amount because I did some research myself and I was able to find 68 cottage food cookie decorators in Connecticut. Now, not all of these people are direct competition because not everybody lives near where I live, but I was able to find 15 in my town or surrounding towns. Although this number is not truly representative of the total competition because I live on the Massachusetts border. I did not search for bakeries in Massachusetts, and I also did not look for commercial businesses. And on the right here are some cookies by some other local decorators who live near me, just to show the competition. Some marketing methods I've done in the past are, first of all, I place business cards in every single order. So in case somebody at the event asks about, hey, where'd you get these cookies? Super easy for the host to tell them, give them my information. As I mentioned before, I do markets. I usually get one or two orders from each market I do. I post every set I do on Facebook and Instagram. And when big seasons are coming up, like graduation or Christmas, I'll gather my photos of past sets for that theme and repost them to local Facebook groups, like the local town Facebook groups. And that just gets a lot more eyes on it. I also have a couple other bakers who refer me, such as the local cake decorator who does not do cookies. So when people ask her, do you do cookies? She says no and refers me. I also have there's a hairdresser in town who has her own salon. From time to time, I give her mini cookies, such as these ones seen on the right, and she gives them out to clients. And if the clients are interested, she'll give them a business card. I've gotten several orders this way. Something I'd like to try and do in the future is a cookie decorating class. This is something I have experience with because I used to work at a place that taught cookie decorating classes. And while I never led the class, I do have knowledge now because of that of what it takes to set up for the class, what materials you need, and just kind of some methods of teaching as well. And I, on the left here, show some local businesses who have partnered with bakers to make this happen before it and what their prices are. And on the right here is a picture of one of those events from a local venue. A goal that I have for the next few years is to increase my prices. Currently, my prices range from $3 to $4 a cookie, and I would like to increase them first to $3.50 to $4.50, and then $4 to $5. I would also like to increase my minimum order to 18. I the $3 to $4 range is currently, based on some research I did, I'm in a three-way tie for the cheapest cookies in Connecticut. The most common starting price that I was able to find was $4 a cookie, and the highest starting price I found is $7.50. So I think that based on that information, increasing my prices is a reasonable goal because it also reflects the increase in skill that I have had since I first started. This picture on the top right is a set that I did in August 2023, which is 2 months before I officially opened my business. And this picture on the bottom is one that I did just this past November. So it's much, as you can see, it's much neater. A lot more skill went into this one on the bottom. But the reason I'm not uh, increasing my prices right now is I just don't have the demand yet. And I think that I should be booked more often before I make this change. So what am I asking for? First, I would like an edible printer, which would allow me to print designs such as this cookie on the bottom. It's a picture I found on Instagram. And it would also allow me to do more corporate orders because right now this cookie on the top is one that I made using a stencil, but the stencil process is very time consuming and it's easy to make mistakes. The printer would be a lot faster and a lot more accurate. And then some other things are full-size oven with sheet pans and silicone mats to go with it, dough sheeter, 8-quart mixer, all of that would help me increase the speed of my baking process. Insurance would just give me some safety and protection, as well as some markets require insurance. to participate then, that would open that up for me. I would like to have somebody help me with some marketing a bit because that's just not my strong suit, and I think it's an area I could be doing better in. And then an airbrush would be just another way to heighten my designs, another tool at my disposal, and natural food dye because artificial food dye is not going to be allowed for much longer. So I'd like to get ahead of that. So that totals $9,000. That's what I'm asking for. Thank you for watching my presentation.